Hi all, this is a video on how to utilize the Common App and how to invite your counselor slash recommender to give you a recommendation. So if you haven't already created a Common App account, you would do it here where it says create account. Website is apply.commonapp.org. In my case, I already have an account. This is going to be a practice account. So it's not a actual account. So what I see versus what you will see might be slightly different. So the first thing is, of course, to add colleges to your list. You might already have a list, hopefully. So on here, I'm just going to search for one of the schools, Chapman University. Here's the school. I'm going to click add to my colleges. Now, before I do that, I want to show you how awesome this part of the Common App is. It's actually going to give you deadline information. So all of you current seniors are going to be applying for fall 2021. So these are the dates for the early action. Again, early action is when you submit early, find out early if you got in. Early decision is binding. So if you apply and get in, you will have to attend that university regardless if you got into other schools or if you don't like the financial aid or if you changed your mind about them. So just be cautious. Of course, early action I always recommend. And regular decision for Chapman is January 15th. So it gives other information on here, but I want to bring your attention to the fee area so you know how much it's going to cost to pay for the application fee. Now, if you get free reduced lunch, there is going to be waivers, or if you feel like you should be getting a fee waiver, there's an area that I will point out later. I also really like this part because it talks about recommendations. It'll tell you that this school requires your counselor to write your recommendation. As a counselor, we submit the school report, we submit a mid-year, and we'll have you submit the final. It also requires a teacher evaluation, one required, one optional. So always look at this because some universities are a little different than others. It also is telling you that they require the Common App personal essay, and then they have other additional things. So let's go ahead and add Chapman to our college list. All right, so now we get into this aspect of it, which is the actual Common App. So the beauty of Common App is that you're doing this entire application and it's going to be applicable to all the universities that you put on your list that are utilizing Common App. So basic info goes on here, such as your date of birth, your gender, your address on here. Make sure it's where you live. Contact details, this is your phone number. Cell phone you can indicate as well. Demographic information as to if you have families in the armed forces, if you're Hispanic or Latino, Latinx, your religious background, your ethnicity. Geography is going to go into where you were born. If you happen to not know that and can't get a hold of your parents, I have that information for you. Number of languages you're proficient in, citizenship, goes into your citizenship status. If you are an undocumented youth, you would say other non-US. And then this is the other part that I wanted to point out, Common App fee waivers. So if you are a student that does get free reduced lunch or you're a student that doesn't, but you feel like you qualify for a fee waiver, you would indicate yes on here, and then the counselor will go in and approve it. As a counselor, we are going to ask you for proof, so just kind of know that. It goes into family, like your parents' marital status, parents' names, sibling names, and then, of course, education. So education is going to ask you to input your high school. So I went ahead and put Cerritos High. The date of entry for current senior is August 2017. We are not a boarding school. Will you graduate? Yes, that is the plan in June 2021. This question, no change in progression. You're not doing gap years, taking time off, things like that. If Cerritos High is not your only high school, you're going to indicate other list here. Otherwise, you're going to put 0. Now, if you are a student that has taken a college class, you'll indicate 1 here, and then you're going to find your college on here. So pretty simple. We'll add Cerritos College in Norwalk. Okay. Make sure that if you have taken a college class, you do not skip this part. Now, a lot of you are doing dual enrollment, so let's go ahead and click that, and then you will indicate when you took that class. So if it was just a summer class, it was just 1 month this year, and it was just July, you're just going to put that it was just July. You did not earn a degree, so do not mark that. Then it's going to go into grades, which is the most intense part. I did want to point out that Cerritos High graduating class is 571 seniors approximately. That is what I show as of today, but that could change because sometimes people leave our campus. We do not report class rank, so you're going to indicate none. GPA is out of a 4.0 because we do not do weighted GPA. So if your counselor has not given you your GPA, please ask your counselor. It is also in your transcript, so 3.5. It is unweighted at Cerritos High. And then you're going to get into the craziest part of it, which is actually indicating all of the classes you took and the grades that you have received, if they were honors and so forth. So then you go into community-based organizations. It's going to ask you if you have been part of an organization that has provided you with free assistance in your application process. Most of you are going to be zeros, but here and there you might be one. All right, future plans, career interest. I want to be a, and then you're going to indicate what it is. Now, if you do not find it, you're going to put other. If you're not sure, that's okay. You don't have to know. You can put undecided. The highest degree, all of you, if you're applying to a four-year university, are aiming at a bachelor's degree to begin with. Right after that, some of you might get masters, MBAs, JDs, that kind of thing. So we'll go ahead and say bachelor's and continue. Okay, so the cool thing about it is that it's going to show you what you haven't done and have done. So as you saw, I skipped a lot of things, but it'll eventually indicate that you have completed that area. Activities, this is where you're going to put in all the clubs, the sports, things that you've accomplished throughout high school. Make sure it's everything you've done since 9th grade. If it's something that you have done in high school, but you started doing that in 1st grade, you can put that in comments. And then, of course, that writing piece is the personal statement essay. So, make sure that you're not typing it here, that you're doing it on a Google Doc, so it gets saved and that you're reviewing it. It is going to ask you about discipline, but ideally none of you need to indicate that you have been disciplined. So lastly, I want to bring you to how you add your recommenders. So I listed my university as Chapman University under my colleges. Here is recommenders and FERPA. So FERPA is you releasing the ability for your recommender, your counselor, teacher, parent, advisor, whoever is writing you this, to be able to write a letter that you do not view. So it's a very candid letter that this recommender is writing for you. So you're going to click complete release authorization. It'll give you a lot of info that you should read, and then click continue. You're going to waive your rights, and you're going to sign. So it's literally just typing your name. 8. Oops, that doesn't look right. All right, save and close. Now you can invite your recommenders. Now, if it's a coach, I would indicate that person under other recommender. But if it's your teacher, you would invite your teacher, you would invite your counselor. Very simple. You just need to make sure that you know our email address. We are school counselor. And then we get an email that says that you have invited us to complete an application or a letter of rec. So the cool thing here is that you can track it. So if, let's say, you sent me a request and it's been a month and I haven't done anything, then you can say, hey, why haven't you done anything? Now, we ask as a counseling team that you give us 2 to 3 weeks to submit the recommendation and the school report. Same goes for teachers because we, aside from writing letters, we have other things that we do. So it's nice to have that extra time. If you have questions about anything here, please reach out. We will be glad to help you. We do have a Common App workshop that is coming up in October. But till then, here's this video. Thanks.